Were you aware that a man's health can directly impact whether a pregnancy happens and even if that pregnancy will last? For many years, fertility has been perceived as just a woman's matter, something that the woman should sort out, something that surely, if we're not getting pregnant, it's because of the female counterpart. Well, we now know better. Science is now very clear about the fact that paternal health, preconception, is also very significant. And I have the evidence to prove it. The father's health plays a significant role both for fertility and pregnancy outcomes. In today's video, I'm going to discuss a very large US study as supporting evidence of what I'm going to discuss in this video. I'm going to look at how poor paternal health affects sperm. I'm specifically going to also hone in on sperm DNA fragmentation and the implications that has on fertility and being able to get pregnant, particularly how that can impair natural pregnancy if sperm DNA fragmentation is going on and you don't even know. And most importantly, the ways in which this video is going to benefit you is that I'm going to address what men can do to improve their fertility and support a healthy pregnancy. If you're trying to conceive, this video is a must watch all the way through. Let's go. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kady. I'm a board certified family practitioner. I love everything to do with women's health, fertility medicine, and pregnancy related matters. So right here on HeyDoc, we cover all of these topics. See, we're building a community here on HeyDoc to strengthen, empower, and educate women. So be sure to subscribe, like, and share our content. Also, be sure to follow us on our other social media platforms as we do lots of other informative content on other social media platforms. So why does paternal health matter? Let's look into this large study that was done in the US. It involved nearly 1 million pregnancies, where it was found that fathers' health before conceptions play a significant role in both fertility and pregnancy outcomes. The key findings of this study is that men who had poor health or metabolic syndrome is essentially a group of conditions that affect how your body produces, stores, and uses energy, your metabolism. It usually involves problems with hormones, enzymes, and organs that regulate things like sugar, fat, and energy balance. So with metabolic conditions or metabolic syndrome, we have type 2 diabetes, we have obesity itself, having high blood pressure, excessive fat, particularly around the abdominal area, high cholesterol, and what we call non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So back to the findings of this study. It acknowledged that fathers that had these conditions were more likely to father pregnancies that ended in miscarriage, stillbirths, or even ectopic pregnancies. That was the case even after accounting for maternal age and maternal health. So what this study that was carried out between 2009 and 2016 has shown is that the father's health directly influences sperm quality and genetic integrity. These can then affect the development of the embryo and then implantation once fertilization has occurred. Poor sperm quality and impacted genetic integrity within the sperm cell exponentially increases the risk of pregnancy loss and complications. So you see, ladies, if you're not watching this video with your husband, you need to go and grab your male counterpart. Why? Because this study has shown that pregnancy and a successful pregnancy outcome. The study also discussed the health of the baby, the likelihood of once the baby is born, how likely, depending on the father's health, how likely that baby was going to be admitted to the neonatal intensive care unit and several other conditions that the baby could develop. And this was found to be linked to the paternal's health, that baby's father's health. So all in all, successes in pregnancy are also very dependent on paternal health and what the father does before the couple falls pregnant. You're still watching. Have you subscribed? Have you liked? Have you shared? Please do if you haven't. Thank you for watching our content. It's a privilege for us to have you on our channel, but please don't be a passerby. We want you to keep coming. We want you to be notified every time we release new content. Please smash the like button, like, share, and support the great work that we do here on Hey Doc. Did you know that more than 3/4 of the people that visit our channel are not subscribed? Do not be one of them. Support us and smash that like button and click the notification bell. Back to important matters. So in the second part of this video, we're going to talk about how poor paternal health affects the quality of the sperm. So when a man's health is not optimal, that includes not going to the gym and working out regularly, him having a lot of saturated fats in his diet, including lots of sugar, lots of carbohydrates in his diet, and poor lifestyle choices, including excessive alcohol intake and bad things like smoking. All of these, whether you're just doing one of them or several of them are part of your lifestyle, it can negatively impact your sperm analysis. Just for those of you who are not aware, I have done a video on this channel where I talk about low sperm count and whether or not it's possible to fall pregnant with a low sperm count. So in that video, I talk in details about what the different parts of the sperm analysis means and what you can do to fall pregnant though, despite having a low sperm analysis. But this video is different. It's looking at the ways that you as a father and some of the lifestyle choices that you can make can prevent some abnormal parameters in your sperm analysis. So say for example, you have a low sperm count that has been found out in doing your sperm analysis. Okay, you have a low sperm count. You can still conceive if we go down the route of doing assisted fertility like IVF. However, if your health is poor and you're not making the right health choices, the sperm that are able to be retrieved will not contain good genetic materials because of all of the oxidative damages that the free radicals can cause to the DNA material in those sperm cells that are able to be retrieved. So if you have a poor lifestyle and you have a low sperm count, any sperm that you do have has a higher risk of having poor quality genetic material anyway. So yes, you might go down the route of having IVF, but it might not work because it has poor genetic material. And you know, if you have a fertility specialist that's not stringent enough, that doesn't assess or doesn't discuss, you know, it's something that is very easy to overlook. Discussing the paternal health and sitting down with the male counterpart and saying, hey, let's take a step back. How good is your health? What is your lifestyle like? You know, you and your wife might go down the route of assisted fertility and it will fail, not because of her age or the quality of her egg, but actually the quality of your sperm. So yes, low sperm count, yes, it is still possible to get pregnant, but you increase your chances of falling pregnant if and when you have a good preconception lifestyle and you do some of the things and take some of the vitamins that I'm going to discuss in this video. So poor paternal health in and of itself could be the reason for your low sperm count. And remember, sperm analysis has various parameters. So it looks at how many sperm cells that you have within the amount of semen that is coming out when you ejaculate. So how many millions of sperms are within that ejaculate. So that's the sperm count. Then another parameter is the motility of the sperm cells. So it's not enough to just bring them out. If they are not motile, they are not moving, they are not swimming, and they are good as not being useful because they will just stay in the vagina instead of swimming up to the fallopian tube where it will meet the egg. Then another parameter is abnormal morphology. That's basically abnormally shaped sperm cells. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too much details because there's an entire video addressing all of the different parameters. Check it out. But beyond all of these parameters, and something that the sperm analysis does not tell you, is the sperm DNA quality. Yes, you may have good motility, you may even have a good number of sperm cells that have good morphology. But what's the DNA quality within those sperm cells like? That might be the difference between a successful pregnancy that comes to term and a miscarriage. That leads this to the third part of this video, where we're going to talk about sperm DNA fragmentation is. This simply refers to the damage or the break in the DNA material within the sperm cells. Think of it like this. The sperm carries the father's blueprint to creating the baby. If this blueprint coming from the father is damaged, aka fragmented, the baby may not develop properly because that baby's genetic material coming from the father is damaged. So although the baby might get good genetic material from the mother, which in cases where there are issues with maternal health, there is also the chance that the DNA material within the mother's egg might not be top-notch, might not be great. But if the genetic material within the sperm cell is fragmented, damaged, or destroyed, again, because of unhealthy lifestyle habits like smoking and eating lots of junk food, unhealthy foods, all of these contain free radicals that cause oxidative stress, and these are the reasons for the damage in the DNA material that is found within the sperm cells. So that's the scientific basis behind why DNA damage happens within the sperm cells. Now, this is why sperm DNA fragmentation matters for fertility. High sperm DNA fragmentation is associated with difficulty conceiving naturally, poor IVF outcomes, failed embryo implantation, and increased risk of miscarriages. So even if the sperm fertilizes the egg, the damaged DNA can prevent a healthy pregnancy. And we can even go a step further. Even if that sperm cell that contains the damaged DNA manages to fertilize the egg, and that fertilized egg manages to implant itself, it might not grow to its full potential. Why? Because the genetic material in it is not compatible with life. In part 4, I'm going to talk about what causes sperm DNA damage. So we've looked into how the DNA material within the sperm cells is damaged. We've talked about the scientific foundation of that already. We've spoken about free radical and oxidative stress. But here are the factors that cause DNA damage: smoking, excessive alcohol intake, obesity, or having a poor diet. And we've looked at having lots of saturated fats and unhealthy fats in your diet, eating lots of junk food, high sugar content, high refined sugar content of your diet, having a heavily loaded carbohydrate-based diet, a lack of exercise, having chronic conditions like diabetes, living a highly stressful lifestyle, one that most men tend to take for granted, exposure to toxins and heat like the sauna, and keeping your laptop on your lap. The heat from your laptop can be transferred onto your scrotum, keeping your testicles in a heated environment, which is not good for sperm generation and keeping your sperm cells healthy. Now to the interesting part. How do you improve paternal health, which will directly improve your fertility outcome, and also, as we have seen in the study that we have discussed, also improve pregnancy outcome? The good news is that sperm health can improve, and often within just 3 months, because that's the sperm production cycle. Here's what men should focus on. The first part of improving your sperm health is to focus and optimize your diet. Have a diet that is rich in fruits, vegetable, whole grain foods, and healthy fats like extra virgin oil, rapeseed oil, avocado oils. Increase your intake of antioxidants like vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, selenium. These 4 vitamins should be in men's preconception vitamins. Yes, ladies, were you aware that men preconception vitamins exist? They do. So do not just focus on the woman taking prenatal preconception vitamins. Your husband should also be taking these simultaneously. Remember, when you go out to purchase your preconception vitamins for your husband, or your husband goes out and purchases these for himself, you should be looking for the vitamin that you purchase to contain these 4 specific elements: vitamin C, zinc, selenium, and vitamin E. Here's another one: coenzyme Q10. Yes, ladies, did you know that coenzyme Q10 is not just beneficial to improve the quality of your egg, but it can also be beneficial in improving your husband's sperm? So after you have both gone to seek medical advice, consider you both taking coenzyme Q10 to improve the quality of his sperm cells. The second area that must be optimized in order to improve paternal preconception health is to maintain a healthy weight. Obesity has been strongly linked to poor sperm quality. Did you know that there is a strong link between obesity and poor sperm cell quality and hormonal imbalances? And so, just as we see it for women, even a modest amount of weight loss improves the chances of having a successful pregnancy and a good pregnancy outcome. The same is true for men. Even a modest amount of weight loss will improve the quality of the sperm and will significantly reduce the risk of sperm DNA fragmentation. Another thing that I forgot to mention is, did you know that all of the preconception vitamins that I've just mentioned, the 4 important vitamins together with coenzyme Q10, did you know that the reason why they are beneficial for paternal health preconception is that particularly vitamin C, it works as an antioxidant. And what that does, it fights the free radicals that leads to the damage of the DNA that is found within the sperm cells. So taking these vitamins will significantly reduce the risk of sperm DNA fragmentations. So we're not just saying take them for the sake of taking them. They work on reducing inflammation, reducing the amount of oxidative stress through free radicals. They are ideal in promoting repair within the body, including within DNA genetic material found within the sperm cells. The third thing that you must do to improve preconception paternal health is to avoid all forms of toxins. Significantly reduce your alcohol intake. Stop if you can. To limit your exposure to environmental toxins like excessive fumes or occupational gases if possible. Reduce your exposure to heat. Remember that the testicles are held at 2 to 3 degrees Celsius cooler than the body's temperature. So any environment that is heated and that is very hot, like saunas, steam rooms, jacuzzi, they will heat up your testicles and they will kill off and destroy some of your sperm cells, leading to a significantly lower sperm count. The fourth is improving lifestyle habits, sleep better, reduce the amount of stress levels that you're under, exercise regularly. Exercising will help with your stamina, will help you address your stress levels, but it will also help you deal with any possible obesity that you might be experiencing. The fifth and final way is managing any chronic conditions that you may have. So if you are a diabetic, I am not saying that being a diabetic means that you automatically have poor preconception paternal health. Yes, you have a chronic condition, but it is possible to manage it well. The key here is making sure that your blood sugar is well controlled, that you're not eating anything that, despite, even if you are on medications like metformins or glycoside or empagliflozin or all of these medications to help you manage your diabetes, even if you are on those medications, it's not enough to say, oh, I'm on medications to manage my diabetes and therefore I can eat whatever I want. That's not enough because it's counterproductive. You're undergoing the effect of the medication because you are essentially still having a high sugar intake. So having chronic conditions does not immediately mean that you have poor preconception paternal health and then you throw in the towel and say, what's the point? I have these conditions, so it means that I have poor paternal preconception health and there's nothing I can do. That's a big lie. A huge lie. Having chronic condition does not automatically mean that you are infertile or you cannot have a good pregnancy outcome. The key is managing those conditions. So again, conditions like having a high blood pressure or having high cholesterol, sit down with your doctor. Be guided by your doctor. Remember, I'm a doctor on YouTube. I provide educational content, but I'm not your doctor. I don't know what your individual condition is. It's always for you to get the information here, be educated, and going down and sitting with your doctor to discuss what would be relevant for you. Sit down with your doctor. Take medication if you must to control your blood pressure, to control your cholesterol levels. And if you have problems with your thyroid, another thing that can affect your sperm count, manage your thyroid condition well. Like I've said, sit down with your doctor. Are you having regular health checkups? Are you making sure that you're having routine bloods? Because it would be awful for you to go through all of that stress and addressing your fertility and then in the midst of doing that, finding out that you have another condition that could also affect your fertility. And most importantly, your family planning. So have regular health checkups. So the final takeaway message is that fertility is not just a woman's matter. Paternal health is just as important as maternal health. So yes, even in fertility, it's a 50-50 matter. A healthy pregnancy starts with both partners. Men have a powerful role, not just in conception and getting pregnant, but it's about staying pregnant, right? So they have a role in reducing the risk of miscarriages. So, hey lady, if you have had multiple miscarriages, you might not be the problem. Your partner might be the problem. So men also have a powerful role in supporting embryo development and improving overall pregnancy outcome. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Take care. Bye.